And here we are, Asheron's Call. Courtesy of the Fat AC folks. You can see the link right there on the display. Also a link in the description if you want to check it out. This is the game I first played. When I first started playing online games. Jesus Christ! Nobody ever wants to talk to me until I'm streaming. Playing a war mage because they're the most fun to watch. I'm just going to give you a rundown of what they've done so far and all the hard work they put into it. Labor of love. A lot of people really dedicated to playing this game back in the day, and now. And they didn't want to see it end, so they're scrounging DAT files and doing everything they can to bring it back up to the way it was before. And for that, I am appreciative. I quit playing for a while, and then I came back about a year before they decided to shut down the servers for good on the official game. There's a what 1, 2. This is ACB. The one I keep going on about. There are 4 consistent servers, and then the test server. P's test server. P is the guy who's doing the bulk of the coding and whatnot. And then he's sharing the code with the other servers, from what I gather. Sorry. Yeah. So I made a mage, and God, I'm so used to playing other games right now. Keep forgetting the controls. Mages have 4 elemental attacks and 3 physical attacks. Slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, and fire, lightning, acid, and cold. Right now it's pretty easy. You download the client, download the launcher, use the launcher rather than the official Asheron's Call launcher. Use the Thwargle launcher. You'll see it when you go into the if you follow the link. On this particular server, the town criers will give you all the buffs you need. You just double click on them. Blam, you're fully buffed. On the other server, there are buff bots set up right over in that area there. There's a lot of stuff being done to make it a little easier right now. You don't need like ammunition, for example, if you're playing a ranged attack player or a character. You just need 1 arrow in your arrow slot and you'll never run out. Yeah, other than that, it's real easy to get into. I'm just going to run into this dungeon down here real quick just to show you how to blow things up. There's a bunny. Now, most of the dungeons around Holtberg, the town I'm currently in, are pretty packed right now. Spells are line of sight. In PvP, that means you can dodge spells. That's a debuff to make them more vulnerable to fire, and then blam, then they explode. Although, these guys explode with just the spell itself. You don't need the debuff. Oops. And that's that. Now there's not a lot of loot in the game yet. Like I said, it's a work in progress. But they've come very far since I started working on it. Doing a great job on it so far. Some of the things that do drop though are like these letters. You can use the gold ones. You can use them to make armor, but the red ones are the lower quality armor, so most people just turn those in to a collector for experience points. Most of the combat stuff is in place. Most of the dungeons are scripted. Well, scripted, not populated. You can die now. Trying to remember what all the buttons do because it's Asheron's call set up slightly. Asheron's call is the reason why I have to use Z and C as my strafe keys. So I believe that was the default back in the day. And then I just got used to it. I'm gonna go do some exploring and show you some of the world after I finish killing these guys. Oops. Keep trying to drain their health after they're dead. Red letter. They're doing an amazing job with it so far. Oh, awesome. Wonderful. I hope you get some enjoyment out of it. You know, like I said, they've been working really hard on it. Give me just a second to catch up on some of these messages, and then I will be right with you. Yeah, I'm going to have to revisit Galaxies this week so Brian gets off my back. Or not Galaxies, Old Republic. I was actually thinking about dipping my toes back into Galaxies here some Sunday. Oop, let me go this way. Now these are all being hosted by individuals. So there's a little bit of lag occasionally. But it's running really well. The official game had a little bit of lag occasionally too, so... Drudge charms can be turned in for XP. Gold letters? I'm getting lucky on the letters today. Look at that. Then you take these letters and you go to different towns and get stamps, and you put the stamp on the letter, and then you turn it into some guy, and he gives you a piece of armor for it. And that's how that works. Yeah, there's supposed to be a big patch. What was it, Tuesday? I'm gonna head back out. Head back out of the dungeon. And one of the big things I wanted to point out. Hey, Maxie, how's it going? You see that mountain way down there? You can run there. Way over there. You see that way over there? You can run there. Anything on the world. This is the continent. You can run anywhere on here without zoning, without teleporting, without doing anything. Now, granted, you have to be able to survive running through the bad guys, but and there are a few other islands like here, here, up here, and then down along here. There's a few that you do actually have to take a portal to, but that's only because you can't run across the water. But you can actually see them from you're standing here. You can actually see over here. You just can't run through the water to get to them. Otherwise, you'd be able to run anywhere on the world. Completely open world. Something you don't see a lot of anymore. And to demonstrate that, I think we should, let's run on over to Arwick. See what kind of trouble we can get into. Let's refresh the buffs. They last for an hour, I believe. Yeah. But just to be on the safe side, we'll hit the life stone. This is called a life stone, this blue thing here. You can double click on it to attune yourself to it. And when you die, this is where you come back. These are scattered all over the world. And there's various spells you can use to bring you back to your life stone, as well as just a standard life stone recall spell, command, chat command. You can tie to various portals in the game. I keep hitting M for map. Glendonwood. Let's go down to Glendonwood and get killed a little bit. Quite literally, if you can see it, you can run to it. It's always one of the coolest things about this game. Back in the day, a lot of people used to do runs around the continent just to see if you can make it all the way around without dying. You just get on the beach and just start following the beach all the way around the world. Let's see. These are all the first and second level spells that I currently have. You can probably cast level 3s also, but I don't remember what the skill requirements are. These are all the skills you get, or can potentially get. Various kinds of magic. This guy has War Magic and Mana Conversion specialized. Mana Conversion means if it's high enough, your spells cost very little mana. It just makes your spellcasting more efficient. War Magic, which is the boom 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 thing. Creature Enchantment, which buffs your stats. Stats and skills. Life Magic, which offers protection and healing, that kind of thing. And Item Enchantment, which I haven't picked up yet. Where the hell is it? Down here. Way down here at the bottom. Is the one that gives you all your portals and allows you to buff your armor and weapons and stuff like that. So, with that being said, I wanted to do something. A couple of spells I need to have up on my bar that I don't have on there. Standard mana self 4. And revitalize self 4. And these two spells allow you to recoup your mana. If you can cast them. And then the mana conversion allows you to do that efficiently. My skill's a little too low right now. Can I raise it? Life Magic. Nope. Alright, well, you get the idea. Stamina will come back as I run. So potentially you never run out of mana. But the spells are a line of sight. And they can't, like in PvP, for example, you can just dodge them by stepping sideways. But there's other spells like streak spells that go really fast, really hard to dodge. So we're heading towards Gulenden Wood, just to see what's there. Now, my character's only level, what, 9? Haven't really put in a lot of time on it. What's that over there? A rat's nest. Well, let's pop our head in there and see what's in there. This is a dungeon. When you go into dungeons, you do have to teleport in. And there are a lot of rats in here. It just does not want me to cast that spell. There it goes. There's a rat on the other side of the door and he wants to chew my face off. Oh, just a little red rat. These guys are little. The tails can be turned in for experience to a collector, also. So it's a good idea to pick up any of those items. I think they've increased the drop rate on the trophy items. Ooh, mountain rat. Mountain rats breathe fire, so you don't want to use fire on them. There are chests in the game, but they're not populated yet. Work in progress. They're more worried about getting the mechanics of the game down right and getting the world populated, and then they'll start worrying about the fine details. Ding! That's what happens when you level up. Which way did I come in at? I forget. Oops, sorry, wrong keyboard. Stand up. Okay, good lord. Like I said, nobody ever wants to talk to me until I'm streaming. Uh-oh. Is that a silver rat or a white rat? White rat. Okay, white rats are easy. Silver rats, kind of nasty. The game has gone through several iterations. There was a graphics upgrade at one point, and I mean, hey Nez, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. It was. The official servers came down, but a bunch of the players... They came out right after EverQuest did. A bunch of the players that were really dedicated and committed to the game decided to take it upon themselves to build it back up from like all the old DAT files and whatnot. And like I said, it's work in progress, but they've made so much progress so far. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Oh, my freaking cat. But yes, it is an MMO. 2 o'clock, Eastern Standard, I know that. If it did happen, I didn't notice it. Is that it? How do I get back out? I'm right back to the beginning again. Alright, I'm going to try to just blast through here without stopping to kill everything. I'm surrounded. Aren't they cute? It's mice. The mountain rats, back in the day when you're out hunting matacars, you'd always come across mountain rats and they'd start chasing you across the mountains, breathing fire at you, and it was horrifying. Of course, now they're just a minor nuisance, you know how games change over time. Huh. It's a pretty good spot to go for trophy items. And that's the exit. And let's see, where are we at? Right back where we started from. Well, it kicks you out pretty far away. That's the portal we just went in. Alright. Boy, it does not want me to cast that spell. You can raise your stats, strength, endurance, coordination, focus, self, all that stuff, to raise your skills also. It's like 1 point of stat, or 3 points of stat is 1 point of skill, or something like that. Or you can raise the skills directly with the XP that you earn. Every point of XP you can spend on skills, but of course the more you spend, the more expensive it gets. Cast it. There we go. And that mana conversion skill that I mentioned earlier makes it so that you can do it efficiently, so you can get your mana back. Drudge, Skulker, Young Banderling. They used all unique creatures for this game. There's no goblins, no trolls, no ogres, none of that. Drudges are these little cat-faced guys. Boy, they're noisy. Oh my god, are they noisy. Banderlings are these green or brown guys. They growl a lot. And there's mites that chirp like crazy, and rabbits. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. Southwest. It's a very keyboard heavy game. Pretty much everything, the whole game can be played just using the keyboard. Aurochs are like wild cows. They come in various shapes and sizes. And the further west you go, the more difficult things become. Once you cross this land bridge, you're into the Dire Lands, which is this whole area over here. And that's where the big bad guys are. And then some of the islands got even bigger. The islands tend to have even bigger content than that. So there's a progression as you go around the world. But like I said, if you can see it, you can go there. There's a mite right there. Mite scamp. There's a dungeon full of these things. Now imagine listening to that 10 times over. Debuff? Dead. And that's how you do things. There's these big cat-like things called Asherons down here. All kinds of crazy critters. But they're all unique to the game. And there's a really good storyline behind the game too. There's a wasp over here. Oh, mosswort. And all the monsters have various resistances and weaknesses. Some are weak to fire, some are weak to frost, and that's just a learning experience. You have to learn it as you go. Or have somebody tell you. Like Shreths, for example, are weak to frost. So if you hit them with a frost bolt, they tend to die pretty quick. Boom! Big old snowball. And there's acid. And lightning. And everybody's favorite, fire. It's the buffs that are keeping me from taking any damage. If it wasn't for getting the buffs back in town, I'd be getting smacked around pretty hard right now. Ah, there's a camp of drudges. Yeah. Red letter. Yeah. But you kind of miss it after not hearing it for a while. Ooh, man, this is my lucky day. Unless they increase the drop rate. And you'll come across little camps like this every once in a while where most of the spawns are random spawns. It'll be a range of creatures. But occasionally you'll come across like a little camp like this where it's a static selection. I bet. Ooh, Manuga. These guys, the lore behind these guys is they continue to grow as they age. And way out in the dire lands, there's some that are like 40, 50 feet tall. And they're weak to frost, I believe. Yes. Seeing there's another camp of drudges over there. I'm not going to kill everything, just enough to give you an idea. There's a wasp in a different color, a blue wasp. Wasps tend to be weak to bludgeoning attacks, and then the opposite of whatever elemental attack they use. Again, nobody ever wants to talk to me until I'm streaming. These red markers that you see down here in the distance indicate the boundary of the low-level area. Once you go beyond those, monsters start getting higher. That's a slashing attack. And this is a piercing attack. Hey, cat. Cat has decided to join the stream. Come on. This is embarrassing. People are watching. Random weapon seller in the middle of nowhere. Huh, neat. Reed sharks. Thanks, Kathorin, I appreciate that. Not the puppy. What do we got over there? Vanderling and an Auroch. Hoping I come across some like Shadow Children or something. There's a camp of Manugas down there. They got 3 eyes, one on top of the other. Horrible depth perception. Hunter Stress. They're weak to frost. Boom. And here we go. Yeah, this is the marker for the newbie area. So once you get beyond that, things start getting a little more tricky. George Vagabond. What was he? 14. Peppermint sticks, used in cooking. There's a full selection of trade skills, cooking, alchemy, fletching, and then there's tinkering skills that haven't been implemented yet. But they're skills that you use to make your weapons and armor better. And here we got a Tumarok. This is one of the sentient species. Where are they? Lightning. And as you can see, it's getting more and more difficult. Again, it's F10, not map. Or not M. Keep trying to open the map with the map key. Or keep trying to open the map with the M key, like you do in most games. But this is all F keys. To open up all your different, like your skills panel and everything, it's all the F keys. F10, F9, F8. F12 is your whatever that is. Ooh, what's this? Bases Los. Well, that could be interesting. Let's see what that is. Oops, he's dead. And they just keep going until they hit something. Well, these things are weak to physical attacks. But they're kind of resistant to magic, so... They might end up killing me. Yep, they're going to kill me. But now I get to show you what happens when you die. Boom. When you die, you lose 5%. You get 5% vitae, which is losing 5% of your life force. All your skills are reduced by 5%. Minor annoyance at 5%, but it builds every time you die. If you keep dying consecutively, 5, 10, 15, 20, that kind of thing. And it brings you right back to Lifestone. Takes all your buffs away, so you have to go rebuff. See how much slower I'm running now? Whatever, Gathorn. But I don't want to ask you to do too much. Whatever you give me, I'll appreciate. I wouldn't mind having some other games represented. But again... This is the collector guy. This is the guy you give stuff to. What's really cool about this game is you can zoom out. And out, and out, and out. Until you can see big chunks of the world. Now if something's right behind you, it's going to block it. But that's the limit of how far you can zoom out. But this is a guy that takes all these fun little items we've been collecting. Oh, dude, you didn't have to do that. But I am happy, thank you. You'll get a big write-up in the newsletter. Video card came today. It came earlier than expected, so I'll be spending the afternoon getting that set up and ready for tonight. If possible, if possible. But that's a lot of downloading to do. Um, every time I hand him something, it gives me a little XP and some money or a trophy item, or I mean a potion or something like that. And they always wave after the drudge charge. It's so irritating because then you can't hand it right back to them. But, you know, small little thing. Just have to wait another second. And these are worth 1500 XP per. I think the gold one's worth, was it 3,000 or 10,000? I forget. Ding! And I leveled up again. Got rid of my bate penalty too. So, good deal. As you earn XP, your bate penalty goes down, 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 down until it's gone. Use the F key to combine everything of the same type. Just makes stacking easier. These don't stack though. And if you folks will excuse me for just a second, I gotta feed this freaking furry mess in my lap and clean up the mess that she left for me in the kitchen. And I'll be back in just a moment. Sorry about that. Be right back. She's learned that if I don't respond to her demands for food quickly, she can run out to the kitchen and throw up all over the tile, and that usually gets me moving. Not throw, it's just water. She just spits up water. But, I switched characters to show you the this is range attack character. He uses well, you take the range attack skill. I'll reset my UI. Hold on a second. Missile weapons, and that covers everything from crossbows to bows to atlatls. When's the last time you've seen an atlatl in a game? It's a dart launcher. She's a dick. Let's call it like it is. She's a freaking asshole. But she's a member of the family, so. Just to show you the different types of combat available, or yeah, combat available. That was the mage that war mage I was using before. There's also void magic, which is similar to war magic, but it focuses more on damage over time. I haven't really played around a lot with that, so I don't know too much about it. And we're going to head on over to Shaushi, which is we're currently right here in Holtberg. I hope you can see that on the little map over here. Then we're going to head on down to Shaushi, which is way down here, and that's where this portal's going to take us. It's just a shortcut to get there. That's all it is. You could run there if you wanted to. We used to do that a lot back in the day and just kill everything on the way. But when we first started playing, back in like late 99, 2000, a bunch of us would just get together, pick a direction, and just run until the things were getting so high that they started killing us. Hitting life stones all along the way. It was a lot of fun. We didn't know about the magics. We didn't know, like, if you were playing like a range attack character, that you also have to take the magic skills. Complete noobs, but we were having so much fun. There was a whole gang of us, like 10 of us, from the game shop. It was a lot of fun. But now we're in Shaushi. We just went halfway across the continent. I'm going to hit this life stone here in case I die. Any of the town criers will give you your buffs. The town crier's job back in the day was to tell you about new patch content. Every time a new patch went live, everybody'd run to the town crier and double click on him to see what he had to say. And he'd tell you, he wouldn't do any spoilers, he'd just give you hints. But it gave you something to head towards, so you knew what to look for. There's a little dungeon right up here on this hill that I'm going to check out. Or no, not that one. We'll come to that one next. There's a portal that takes you over to one of the islands. That portal right there takes you to this island right here. So it teleports you all the way across to that island. But we don't want to go there yet. We're going to run through this dungeon here. There's a bunch of wasps and whatnot. An assortment of critters. And the dungeons are not unique instances. There could be 3 or 4 people in the same dungeon. It's not unique to your character. Like World of Warcraft, for example. Which, in my opinion, just adds a bit to the realism. Immersion. And these dungeons all around the starter towns have quests affiliated with them. Like this one, you run around and collect all the various bits for Oitong, or not Oitong-yi, but and you can shoot point-blank range. The wings are trophy items that you can turn in for XP. And if you're playing like a melee class or a ranged attack class, you want to focus on not only your combat skill, but your melee and missile defense too. Or magic defense or whatever, your defensive skills. Little baby shreds. On a missile attack character, the further to the right you go, the more accurate your shots are going to be. Further to the left you go, the faster you're going to shoot. So if you're fighting low-level mobs and you just want speed, you take it to the left. If you're fighting higher-level mobs, you crank it up to the right just to make sure you hit them. Luka, that's what it is. You gotta collect all of Luka's items. There's a bunch of them scattered all around the dungeon just laying here, because apparently the guy's incredibly careless with his stuff. Some mobs are weak to low attacks, some mobs are weak to high attacks. Some mobs are so small that if you shoot low, or if you shoot high, you're not even going to hit them. One of the greatest things I like about this game is the fact that you wade into mobs of bad guys instead of just one or two at a time. Like in Asheron or EverQuest, you try to fight more than one mob at a time, you're probably going to die. But in here, you can easily fight 5, 10, 15 guys at the same time, as long as you're buffed properly. There's his bracelet. And then we go down to the next level. Which means running all the way back through, possibly killing. They're respawning a little faster than they normally did on the retail server. But that's okay, because they're easy to kill. We're buffed. Yeah. Yeah, there's dual wielding in this if you play a melee character. I don't have one made right now, or I'd show you. These are the only two I have made right now on this server. There's 2 PvP servers and 2 PvE servers currently live 24/7, and then there's the test server that P runs. It's only live when he's testing new content. It's like a gay pride parade when you level. I believe there was, yeah, his guitar. God, this guy is just careless. And it also has run and jump skills. The higher they are, the faster or higher you can jump or run or jump. To the point where you can jump over houses. With the max level jump skill, you could probably get a 15-20 foot vertical. Ben dies, or buy Den's gem. Each floor is laid out the same way. Gets progressively harder as you go down, but not horribly so. It's a newbie dungeon. Skill points. Skill points. And then it's a combination of your stat plus your skill, plus your level versus the mob's level. There's this whole formula that goes into calculating whether or not you hit or miss. There's his necklace. Oh, that's Biden's necklace. Yes, yep, there is a cap. And the max level is 275. The max character level. That really doesn't mean all that much in this game, though. This game's all about the skills, not so much about your character level. Character level is just a basic representation of how powerful your character is, but it doesn't really mean anything. Because it's common to fight mobs in this game that are 10, 15, 20, 30 levels higher than you are as you go up in levels. If you're buffed, you can get away with all kinds of craziness. In fact, one of the more popular things back in the day was power leveling people, and you take like a level 1 character, buff the crap out of them, take them out in the middle of the Dire Lands and just start debuffing the bad guys, and then let the low-level character kill them. And you like kill one Tusker and go up 15 levels at once. Used to be a lot of fun. My original Monarch used to do that with me all the time. Yeah, Thaco. God, Thaco. See, that wasp just shot an acid attack at me. All the wasps shoot some kind of elemental attack. Lucas Yoji. I'm in Shaoxi right now, which is the show lands, which are basically Asians. And then there's but the character himself is an Alluvian, which is the equivalent to European. And then you have the Gurundam, which are Middle Eastern-like. And the Viamanchans, which are a race of these blue-skinned folks. And you can even play as some of the shadow folk. Living shadows. You can play as the Gear Knights. It's this mechanical species, a sentient mechanical species. Used to be just the 3 races. Show, Gurundam, and Alluvian. But then they broadened that as time went on. The Viamanchans came out when the expansion came out. I think that's the bottom of the dungeon. We head back out and turn them into the NPC, get our fat juicy reward for it. I wish I had a higher level character to take you out in the Dire Lanes and show you all the fun stuff out there. But characters are static on the servers. For a while there, it was you made a new character every time you logged on, but they allowed you to artificially level them. You just type in a command to level them up. But now the characters are static, so you have to earn your XP. But as you can see, it goes pretty quick. It was level 3 when I logged on, level 5 now. And that's the exit. Then we're going to head over to the pub in Shaoxi. There's a couple different dungeons right around this town. All the new starter towns, Shaoxi, Holtberg, and oh, what's the Gurundam one? I forget what it is. Alarcus. Or is it Yarak? No, I think it's Alarcus. No, it's Yarak. Yarak is the Gurundam one. They're the 3 starting towns for the core races, and then the Viamanchans have One of these is the Viamantian one. I don't know. I've never played a Viamantian, so I don't know. But you can choose which town you start in, so that's not set in stone. If you make an Alluvian, you can start in Shaoxi. Oops, I don't want you. Vendors sell just basic starter gear. Traditionally, the best drops in the game were random drops, and then you'd use your tinkering skills to make them better. Quests, like stuff that you got from dungeons, like various weapons and armor and whatnot, tended to not be as good as the stuff you made yourself, which was really cool. You'd get them for bragging rights. But the reality was the stuff you made was always better because you could make it as good as you wanted it. And you had up to 10 opportunities per item to tinker it, to make it better. But every time you do, it increases your chance of failing. And if you fail, the item blows up. You lose the item. So you want to be really careful, make sure you're really buffed, and look at your percentages. There, now I'm level 7. Stack all our coins together, and then there's trade notes you can get. You can take your coins to a vendor and sell them to him, and he'll give you a trade note. And then you can use those trade notes as currency too. It's like coins and bills, basically. Luka. Here's your shuriken. Try to be more careful in the future. There's Biden's bracelet. And there, just like that, we are level 9. This is stuff I should have handed in Holberg, but I forgot. Alright, and now we'll go up to the Shaoxi Grotto, which is right up here on the side of this hill. Check our buffs. This is your buff timer. I still got 44 minutes, so we're good. Should be able to make it all the way through that. You can use mouse running in this game, but it's just not as good as keyboard running. Then you take all that XP that you just earned, and you dump it into your stats and skills. So you got a total pool available down here, and then it tells you how much it costs to raise it, and you can bump it up 10 at a time or 1 at a time, 1 point at a time or 10 points at a time. Range attack is all coordination. Defenses are all coordination and quickness, so you want those to stay up. Focus and self is your magic. You want to do more on focus than you do on self, because really all you get from self is points towards your magic skill, yes, but it increases your mana pool. Endurance is very important. That's your health. And right now the skills aren't raising themselves, but traditionally, as you use the skills, every time you successfully use a skill, it gets a little bit of XP into the skill itself, so the skills will raise themselves. That's not been implemented yet. So you have to do it manually. And there's a big difference between having a skill trained and a skill specialized. So you want your primary kill skill to be specialized. Unless you're just making like a trade skill mule or something like that, and then you want your trade skills to be specialized. I don't remember if there's any trophy items in here or not. I don't think so. I think this is just a killing dungeon. Dungeon to farm red and gold letters. Ordinarily, as you use your skills, your stamina goes down. So you're constantly drinking stamina potions to get your stamina back. If you're a melee or ranged attack. Not constantly, but you know, as needed. That's how you replenished it. That hasn't been implemented yet. Like I said, work in progress, but they've done amazing work so far. Chests are not populated yet. They just most of the chests aren't even worth opening anyhow, because it's just random low level crap loot. Ooh. Yay. And you can, if you're a melee character, you can fight through doors. If the door's closed, you can stand on the other side of it and kill the bad guy without getting overwhelmed. If there's a bunch of bad guys on the other side. It's kind of weird, but it's always been in there. They never changed it, so. It's going to be really nice when they get it all implemented and it's all running well. Like old times. And for the melee and range attack classes, there's also elemental arrows and 3 different physical arrows. There's bludgeon, slashing, and piercing arrows. And then you have fire arrows and frost arrows and lightning arrows and all that kind of stuff. So you got all your elements covered. Now again, this is a game from 1999, so don't expect top-notch graphics, even with the upgrade. But expect a lot of fun gameplay, especially when you get on with your friends and play. Another chest, still not populated. And then you continue down and it just gets deeper and deeper. So it sounds like somebody's down here camping. You can see somebody casting. These are spell words. You used to have to learn your spells through a series of spell components. They've done away with most of that. But typically this is, right now none of this stuff is implemented, but bugger. But this is the components you used to need to cast this spell if you use the normal spell casting method. If you use the advanced spell casting method, you just needed one kind of candle. But complicated. I'm not going to get into it now. But you used to have to learn them through combining various bits of spell components. Oh, what happened? A little lag spike. And in the beginning, it was all trial and error. And then P, the guy who's been doing all the work on getting the emulated server up and running, came out with a little bit of software that cracked the code. As long as you figured out a couple of the spells that you needed to or that you were trying to learn, there was a pattern, so it was able to fill in all the remaining components that you would need. That was the first third-party software for the game. And now there's all kinds of third-party programs that you can use. But good old P saved a lot of people a lot of aggravation, because it would get expensive having to buy all the spell components. Doing this today because this is we're going to say goodbye to my video card. A regular viewer generously donated an upgraded card to the stream, and I'll be spending the afternoon installing that and getting it all set up. So everything should look a lot prettier from here on out. A lot prettier. I mean, it's a huge upgrade for my video card. The rest of my computer's pretty good, but the video card was seriously lacking. Thanks to good old Micah. It's sitting there staring at me right now, and I'm kind of chomping at the bit to get it installed. All kinds of stuff in here. This is one of the dungeons we spent a lot of time in back in the day as a group. And there were always a lot of people in it, farming the drudges and whatnot. So it was a very social thing. Everybody would have their own little area, and you'd just sit around and wait for respawns and hope you got a few punches in before it died. But things have changed. I think at its peak, Asheron's Call had maybe 100,000 subscribers, maybe, and I could be remembering that incorrectly. It never got anywhere near EverQuest numbers, which never got anywhere near World of Warcraft numbers. But at the time, EverQuest was the big dog, and Turbine missed launch by a couple of months. EverQuest beat him to the punch. It could very well be that instead of Asheron's Call, or instead of EverQuest, everybody would refer to Asheron's Call as the granddaddy. Even though neither one would be accurate. Ultima would be the granddaddy, but you know what I mean. I don't remember any of this. They still have to pay for their subscriptions. They're still paid accounts. Unless they're just playing on trial accounts. me get around the corner. There's this neat little strafing ability you can do. It's using the arrow keys and the WASD keys. Well, the arrow keys and the strafe keys. You turn and strafe at the same time, and it allows you to slide across the floors like this. And when you're doing PvP, it's a great way to dodge spells. I can't tell you how many times in various other games I've tried to do that strafe slide, and it just doesn't work in those games. Alright, let's get out of here. We took a wrong turn. Not a wrong turn, just not where I wanted to go. There's a whole nother section of this dungeon. Somebody is in here casting spells and I haven't come across them yet. This is one game I don't care how primitive the graphics might be. I'll always come back to because it's, well, it's home, you know, for starters. It was my first. And despite the less than modern appearance, there's just so much fun to be had in this game. So many places to explore, and you can just run to them. You can just run to any of them. You don't need a zone. You don't need to take a boat. You just run. The original developers on this southern land bridge down here, they shaped all the mountains in the names of their signatures. One of those little touches is just kind of neat. If you zoom out and do a really high aerial view, you can see it. And there used to be a lot of Easter eggs in the game. I remember seeing a TARDIS once. Now, where was it that I turned wrong? Yep, well, doing a comparison between the stat system in this game and Dungeons and Dragons. To hit armor class 0, Thaco. Oh, maybe I was it. No, I know where I went wrong. Alright. Really? It's probably a lot of content that I'll never see. This is the way I want to go. Did I miss it? I didn't even know it happened yet. Thought it wasn't for like another hour. Okay, I don't think we can see it where I'm at anyhow. Pennsylvania. Nope. Good Lord. All the letters. It's like 5 levels worth. Another chest? I keep checking them just in case. Good. And an apple. I don't want the apple though. You can eat food to restore stamina. Food just generally tends to do just a little bit though. And level 12. Just like that. Thought there was something down there. This is the one that has something down there. Brown beans. Use those to make chocolate. But I don't think any of the trade skills have been implemented yet. And we're approaching the end, right up this slope. I don't know how people are getting the various pieces of armor. All I've been able to find is store-bought stuff, and To the best of my knowledge, the mobs aren't dropping anything yet, other than trophy items. Drudges. Not as bad as mites. And that's the key you need for the Sword of Lost Light. That's one of the 7 you need for the Sword of Lost Light. Which is the entire purpose of this dungeon, was that key. Now I remember. Then there used to be some random stuff laying on the floor right here, but apparently it's not spawning yet. And the exit portal. We've made it all the way through. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night. And we're buffed. They do the YMCA emote. And, okay, I'm going to step out for a quick smoke. Terribly sorry to do that to you. But it must be done. I got to wake up. So I shall return in just a moment. And I'm back. I'm going to turn in these letters, beef up my hit points and whatnot a little bit, and go for a run. And we'll do that until the beast awakens. Excuse me. After a while, this starts to slow down, and you can't rely on it for experience anymore. I mean, you can, but it's just a trickle. But at low levels, this really helps you grind through those levels quick. Not very much fun to watch. Sorry about that. Trying to get it done as quick as I can. It's the waving. I'd be able to hand him in faster if he didn't wave between each drudge charm. Now we're going to run down the road to Heavy and Tow, which is the town I used to call home before they put in player housing. Another feature which hasn't been implemented yet. Or wait, I think it has actually. These green seeds right here, you take them to another NPC and they give you a plant that you can crush up and use for a dye with the alchemy skill. And then the plants spawn randomly on across the countryside too. I don't know if they've been implemented yet or not. But just doing the red ones. I'm keeping the gold ones for pieces of armor. And that's it. Stack all our coins together. Ah, crap. The beast is awakening. Well, so much for that. Okay, well, fate being what it is, the beast is awakened, so I have to go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world, but this game means a lot to me. So I just wanted to share it before I did the upgrade. And thanks for watching. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. And have a great day, folks. See ya.